I hope you have nightmares about me.
The intro music seemed a lot faster than normal. Maybe it's because I haven't been on in a week. I don't know. It sounded like it had as much coffee as I did this morning. I'm like, God, that sounds fast.
Could definitely use some coffee right now.
Yeah, coffee does sound good, but I have to go to bed after this because I have to be up at like 2:45. So I'm like,
Oh
coffee would
wow.
not be smart for me right now. But I love coffee
Yeah.
so much. It's so delicious. So, uh, well, guys, welcome back to another episode of Any Last Words. It's a brand new week, brand new episode, brand new guest. Tonight, we have returning guest Adam Freeman of Deadly Dealing. Welcome back, darling.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I was excited to hear that you were all done and just to so everybody else knows too, happy birthday because you had a
Thank you.
birthday yesterday. Yeah,
I
wait, it's
turned
yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday I
Okay.
turned 31.
Oh, he's just a baby. Such a baby. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we were talking a little bit right before we went on, saying it must have been really nice to wrap everything up and have your birthday on the same day.
It was
Like
the best birthday present ever, honestly.
oh my gosh. So did you end up finishing late or did you finish up early? Like, did you get enough time to go enjoy yourself and just kind of breathe on your birthday?
We did actually. We actually finished a little bit early, so that was kind of nice. So we had like the rest of the day to kind of relax and just enjoy ourselves and get to see each other before everybody left. Because it's always sad when somebody goes home. That's like my least favorite part about working in this industry. But
Yeah, because
yeah,
you create your little knocking things over. You create your little cliques and you get like
yeah.
close to people. And you were saying again right before we went on, you were working quite a bit like this whole year.
Mhm.
So I can imagine the connections and the bonds that you must have made with a lot of people.
Yes, I got to work really close with Steve McGill and Dixie Gares on this project. So they really helped me a lot. Um, like they were my production managers. So anything I did in pre-production, I would run by them to see what they thought, and also just kind of they could help me try to lead me to where I needed to go to make this happen as well. But pre-production was kind of a nightmare just because there was so much to do. It's a truly unique project what we brought to life. So
Yeah, I've been following off and on, and then some of the stuff you sent me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm just like I'm mesmerized just by the colors alone. I love the color scheme that you picked. I mean, I don't know if it's that way throughout the entire film. It
mhm.
kind of doesn't seem like it is like 100%, but it's just like, ooh, I like what you got going on here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the films, just in case people don't remember from the last time you were with us.
Sure. So, Deadly Dealings is a film about love, loss, and resurrection. I wanted to go with this script because I had about 8 or 9 scripts that I had written, and I wanted to choose one. And since everybody's you know been home, dealing with COVID and things like that, I thought, why not go an emotional route? So I chose this script to be as my first project that I directed. And it's about a girl named Mary. And 2 years prior, her brother was killed in a car accident. She was actually supposed to die because there was a pole that was coming through her window, and her brother pushes her out of the way. Um, so what happens is her whole family and her whole world has changed. She's dealing with her mother trying to pretend to be happy, the father trying to keep things put together, and it's not like it's a story that's based at like a really young age. I wanted people who were like in their 30s just to kind of show um, that it can happen to anyone, not just at a young age, because usually that's a stereotype I feel like in movies when that happens. So I wanted to break away from that and do something a little bit different. And ultimately, she's living with her roommate, Milo, who is into the occult. He's studies witchcraft, and um, he offers her a way to speak to her brother again through a spirit board, which things just kind of, I don't know how to say it. It's just kind of go awry.
We
And
messing with the Ouija's.
yeah, yeah. But it's not just like about witchcraft and about a spirit board. Like there's zombies in this movie. There
Oh,
is witches. There, how else can I explain it without giving too much away? Um, there's demons in this movie, which you've probably seen from the screenshot. Which I love the makeup that Derek Worley did for Deadly Dealings on Aisling.
yes.
And basically it's about this nightmare. We wanted to make it ethereal. That's a good word that somebody pointed out to me. It's ethereal all the way throughout, so it almost seems like you're in a dream watching this dream pan out through the entire thing.
It
So
seems very dreamy, like from what
yeah.
you've shared for everybody to see. And by the way, after the show, if you guys aren't already following the film, the link is in the description, so you can go over there and check out like the behind the scene photos, like little stills from the show or from the movie. I'm sorry. And what to expect, basically, or getting an idea of what to expect from this film. And it does seem very, very dreamy. And maybe that's just the colors of it too, like just they're dreamy colors. I love it so much. And the demon does look amazing. It really does look amazing.
It really does. And the thing about it is we have so many horror films that come out that it's, we have a lot of remakes that come out. We have a lot of violent films come out. What about a horror film that can be beautiful and at the same time emotional and still get all your elements that everybody loves? But we used a lot of glitter. That was another big thing on set and the way that we did it was we literally lined people up, took Astroglide, covered them from like head to toe, took glitter and just like shook it all over them, and then you have to like press it and then take hairspray and go over it. So like
Really?
these actors, I put them literally through hell.
Oh my God. Yeah, because the glitter is like the herpes of crafts. Like that's never coming off. You're never getting rid of that, like ever.
Yeah. It was a mess. It was a mess, but it turned out so good on camera. And like pretty much almost everybody, I think, gets in glitter except for like a couple of people. But we just recently did another shoot this past weekend that involved heavy amount of glitter, more than before. And I think that we were a little bit smarter about how we did it, so that way it wasn't everywhere.
So you're like the Quentin Tarantino of glitter. It's just like there's so much of it. Like that's like 90% of the budget is just glitter. Like, dude, we got to put some more perks on the Indiegogo because we need more glitter and lube.
Yeah. Right. It was. I want to just say that the budget so far is about 35,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's got a good budget. About 1,500 of that went straight into just translucent and holographic material to build the sets with.
Wow. 1,500 or 15,000?
1,500. Sorry.
Okay. Oh no, you said 100, but I was like, oh, okay. That's still a lot. That's still a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But oh my God.
It's unique. A lot of people like because it's I don't take from anything. I want it to be completely unique. So I took a dream that I had, and I took all the colors from my dream, and I took all like little elements and stuff from an actual dream that I had, and just made this movie into something so bizarre that the actors, when they first got on set, they had no idea what to expect. They had no idea what I was telling them. It was just like they could not comprehend it. So I had to literally show them. And then what they came up with was Evil Dead and Pet Sematary meets Legend.
Ooh.
With a little bit of labyrinth. And just because that there's no way to really explain to somebody. So it's like I've had a lot of people come up to me and they're like, I just don't understand, like, what is it about? And I'm just like, I'd give them, like a little bit of a summary of what it's about, but I try to explain exactly what like the film itself is. It's a
Mhm.
visual take on something from my actual dream that I'm trying to bring to life, and I think that we did it really well. So bringing the dream to life.
It looks pretty amazing so far. When do you anticipate? I know you still got a lot more to do.
Mhm.
When do you anticipate that it might be out?
Not quite sure yet. I know that Roman Josart is doing the editing. He did cinematography and he works at Studio 605. He's brilliant at what he does. And he's already got me like an assembly cut that's already fully recolored. And the fully recolored version, like I think I showed you like raw footage before, like what it looked like without the coloring, and then you add the color to it, and it's just like bam. I was just like kind of blown away by how it really looked. But I'm probably I want to give it probably I would say at least 8 months, but I don't really think that it'll be. I think it could be done probably faster. Who knows? It just depends. I know that Vestron Vulture is doing the music, and I told him that I was like, I want to give you the time that you need to craft the music. That way, you're not rushed. So it's pretty much just on their time because I don't want to rush them and get it done. I want to allow them to have the time to do their craft without being rushed.
See,
That
now
was one of my big things.
that just kind of tells you too, like how good this movie is going to be because you didn't rush it. Like
Yeah.
you're taking a lot of care. I mean,
Mhm.
you worked so many hours on this for so
Oh yeah.
long and just the care that you're taking into this and allowing other people to take care in their craft as well to contribute to the film to just make it even better. If that makes sense what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
Yeah. And that's totally what I'm going for because I feel like, you can give somebody a deadline, but does that mean that you're going to get the best work out of somebody? You know? So I really wanted to let them craft it. And I mean, pretty much everyone, like, I never dreamed that I would be working with 605 or Vestron Vulture. I mean, like, I loved the movie slash Lorette Party, and like the score was one of my most favorite things. I could listen to that thing on repeat all day. But and just that was even before I ever even went into this project. And having them on this project, I was like, wow, this is really real. So it's going to be like wave music all the way throughout.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Now, did you anticipate that it was going to take this long, or were you thinking it was going to take longer to get this done?
I honestly, the way that I foresaw the project is I only wanted to use $10,000 and I wanted to do a really low budget film and start it out that way. But the more people that I have worked with, I've worked on several other films and I kept meeting so much talent. And it was just like, okay, I got this person, I got this person, I got this person. I was like, okay, I have a really talented cast. And I was like, okay, then I wound up with Studio 605, Roman, he works with them and he's shooting the film. His work is just flawless. So one thing led to another and I just kept getting trying to get the best for everything. The budget went up and I never dreamed that it would be what it was. It wasn't supposed to be what it is. It's magnified by 100 at least. So,
Well, like super happy birthday then. Jeez, Louise, that
yeah,
just sounds so amazing. I love that. And I love hearing that. I love hearing when artists are just so very excited and passionate about their
yeah.
projects. Because it just makes me excited too, because I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And I really can. I really want to see this. Like I said, I've been following, I've been watching you.
Thank you. I do want to say that I think one of the hardest things I think in pre-production was costuming because something about Deadly Dealings that a lot of other films don't do is its costuming and makeup and the sets around you. So, like, if you watch like a classic Hollywood film such as like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with like Elizabeth Taylor, and Paul Newman. What is the one thing that you see? You see they're in like these elaborate costumes. They have these beautiful sets. It's on 35 millimeter film, and it's flawless. Everything is eye candy for the viewer, and that is what I wanted to do with this one. So everything. I mean, I have like an old vintage floral telephone, and that she constantly uses like in the film. One of the actors does, and then we have a lot of floral everywhere. So I bought like a ton of flowers, like roses and sunflowers, and arrangements to sit around in the scene. Again, the translucent materials, which we actually, where we're at now, we actually, this is my home, but we took everything out of our bedroom and our living room, and we got that, like, have you ever seen that like black material that you put down on soil to keep from like weeds going up?
Yeah. The
All
weed
right.
barrier stuff.
Yeah. So we got like rolls of that and blacked out the entire house and funneled it. So then we like built the set inside of it. And we had like a chase lounge that was like covered in this like holographic material, like a sequin sparkling pillow. We had, I don't even know what it was that was hanging out like everywhere all over, coming down from the ceiling. But we did things like that. So there was just so much crafting into every single frame. That was the most important thing, because I feel like if you lose, like for me, if something breaks away in a film, like if you have like aesthetics and then you like stop the aesthetics, you lose my attention immediately. So one of the things that I wanted to do was every single scene, every single thing that you see, prop, object, everything is crafted. Most of it's handmade. A lot of it is vintage, so it's like either like really old, or we had to like order it for a lot of money just to get it. So that is something that I do want to point out, because I want people to know when they do see that.
And you did some of the. I hope I'm not giving anything away, but you did some of the costumes yourself too, didn't you?
I did. There was two really elaborate costumes. I actually have like one right there. The chest piece was made by somebody else, and it's like actually got like a moon crescent that comes in it, that's made out of resin. But the rest of the costume is like hand sewn. I got the materials from like Walmart, sewed it together, pieced it together. I went to like a adult store to get like harnesses and stuff, and I altered them. So like I bedazzled them, I added material, and like had to like, half of it was like gluing and half of it was still sewing and connecting material to like harnesses, and really just crafting this elaborate costume and getting like feathers to like go underneath the neck and like shoot out for the demon, and then the
You did a
chains.
badass job, by the way. That
Thank you.
So dope. I swear, I was like, wait, you made that? What? I really thought you got it from somewhere. I was like, dude, that is so fucking dope. That is badass.
Thank you. Like I did order like the big pentagram, and like sewed it into the costume as well, because it was like made out of metal, so I couldn't make that. But there was just so much involved with it. I would be sitting at my normal job sewing away while talking on the phone or taking calls where I work at, and I'm just sitting there sewing and bedazzling the entire time. So 100 hours.
Get it in where you can fit it in.
Yeah. 100 hours went into that almost every week, and I would be like working my normal job and constantly be working on something from Deadly Dealings while I was doing that. So it was nonstop.
That sounds insane. Like,
Really
I could not
was.
imagine me doing anything like that ever. Like, my attention span is just so poorly.
That's me. That's me. And so it was hard, because my attention span is about the same. And luckily I just pushed myself and just kept pushing myself to do it. And it was kind of the fun part about everything, because there was a lot of hard stuff to do, but the fun part is matching everything. So like one cool thing is that almost every actor in this movie wears a wig.
I love wigs. These bitches are so much fun.
Yes. So I really wanted to, like, I don't know if you ever saw like the The Love Witch behind me.
Mhm.
One of the things that I loved from that movie was Anna Biller put wigs on everyone, and that was the only thing that I think I took from another film like that inspired me to do that was to use wigs and to really just craft the character the way that you want them to. I really saw what she was trying to do, so it led me to do that as well. And I like looking different in almost everything that I'm in, so I usually will wear a wig because of that and something.
I know how that goes. And then I go to
Yeah,
places and they're like, "Is that you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like people getting too comfortable with how I look."
yeah,
So
understand that.
oh, and then it's fun too because you can go to like conventions or premieres, and then you can go
Mhm.
to an after party and like switch it up real quick, and then it's like meeting people all over again because you're in a dark room and everyone's drinking. So,
Yep, exactly.
oh my gosh. So, what was? I know. It just seems like you just really enjoyed all of this so much. So,
I
it kind
do.
of feels a little pointless asking like, what was your absolute most favorite part of this whole I mean, besides matching things and doing the wigs, like what was your
Ooh.
most treasured part of doing this whole film?
The best part of it was I have a really deep story that's kind of it's personal, but like I speak about it to anyone who asks. Um, but this entire movie is a metaphor of my real life. So um, that was really really therapeutic for me to be able to tell my story through this film. Um, as you know, probably, and I can just tell you just kind of like a little brief about it, if that's okay.
No,
Um,
for sure.
so when I was younger, I met my biological family because I was adopted in a closed adoption, and a total accident, just met them when I was 19. And I was a little bit of a wild child back in those days, and I wasn't the best person in the world, but I had this like tendency of just if I met somebody, I would possibly just like give them a false name, or just because I knew I wasn't going to be there long, and I
Hmm.
just constantly moved. So I would just pick up one day and move and never tell anybody. Like all my friends that I had, everything, I would just totally leave, and I would just drive to another state and just start another life, and then I would just quit that one and go to another one. And I just did this for so long. And when I met my brother, I have a brother that's 4 years younger than me. I uh, hadn't seen him. I think it was like in about 8 years, I think. And so I wanted to make this movie based on um, a sister and a brother rather than a brother and a brother, because I felt like that'd be like too real for me. So I used it as kind of like a metaphor. Some of the stuff that happens, like she mourns the loss of her brother, just like I really missed my brother. So that's kind of what I did with the entire plot line. So like if like the climax of the film, the conclusion of the film is all based on the whole outcome of a lot of things for me. Um, and there's a group therapy scene, and I just want to say this out loud. There's a group therapy scene where not all of them, but there are people that give their stories, but most of the stories are based on my actual life. Um,
What?
yeah, so I that was really therapeutic, but at the same time, it was a really heavy scene. Not just for me. Like I was sitting over there trying not to cry while they were while they were acting it
Oh,
out because it was so real. But also the actors knew that it was real, and they were really emotional over a lot of stuff. And so Deadly Dealings is a horror film, but it's also a very, I want to say, very real, very realistic type to me because of what it means. So there was that, and then also when I went to Haiti back about 10 years ago, um, I I would save lives, but also was there when there was a lot of people who did pass away. And you would have, it was during the earthquake, with that
oh,
massive earthquake they had. So I worked over in Haiti for a while,
Oh,
and some
wow.
of the experiences were really hard to deal with, and that's actually why I got into acting, and to be able to release some of that emotion that I had, because every year around January I just get because that's when it happened. But but yeah, one of the things was, and I'm so sorry if this makes you emotional. Tell me
No,
to
no,
stop.
no, it's okay. No, it's beautiful. So I mean, in a way, it's a very beautiful story to hear. So because
Yeah,
it's very
that,
real. So
and this is what Deadly Dealings is all about. Like, I guarantee that anybody who watches it, like, I think people will be really moved, but I think that they'll also, I find it a tearjerker. The film is a tearjerker, but like at the same time, it has its horror elements to let you still have your horror. But um, one of the things that was really hard to deal with that I really put in this film was, and this kind of goes along with my lead, where Mary is in her car accident, and this is just a given. She was in the car accident with her brother, and she loses him. So I lost a little boy that I found. His family had died in the earthquake, and the building collapsed on him. He was about 6 years old, and it busted his internal organs. So that he was left there with nobody on a piece of cardboard, just dying. So I had found him. Nobody was around. Um, except for I saw this like little girl like watching from afar, and it took about 20 minutes, but he passed away in my arms, and then I turned around and then she passed away at the same time, the little girl that was watching. um, but that was a really hard thing to deal with through ever since that happened. It haunts me every day, but being able to tell Deadly Dealings' story and being able to put that as a metaphor, like metaphorically into the film, where Mary is in her car accident with her brother and he dies. It's in the synopsis, so it's not a secret. Um, she was there with him, and it's traumatizing. So the film really does go deep into trauma, and I did have to study a lot of, like, I'm not going to say psychology, but like group therapies and therapy and things like that. I really did do a lot of research to try to make sure that it was realistic enough on screen for that reason.
wow, wow, all
Yeah.
those stories, and you mushed all of those into that.
And
Just the
it's so much
I know
more.
I'm still trying like to push it back a little bit because I do feel like I want to cry. So
Yeah, and that it's heavy. The actors had to push it back, and that when they were ultimately allowed to cry on screen, they just let it out, So um, there's a lot of that throughout the entire film, and it has that like heaviness in your chest when you're watching it, because I have watched a lot, just the assembly cut, but it's heavy. It deals a lot with love, loss, but ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a resurrection. There's we have zombies in the film. It's no secret. I've talked about that quite often, but but the whole outcome of the film, it does represent today what I feel like, how it's kind of all came together, which that's, I think, the surprise for people. So
whew,
yeah,
that all is just
yeah,
that is deep.
it's pretty deep. That's a lot to
I'm
lay
like
on
feeling it in my
somebody.
throat and in
Yeah,
my chest right now. So
yeah,
I
it's a
got the
lot to
chills a
deal
little
with.
bit.
But the good thing is like, I'm glad that you feel that, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But like, usually when I tell people that story, it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Oh
So
no, I got chills right now. Like my skin
yeah,
is crawling right now because I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
So the film itself, when people can feel it through Deadly Dealings, that's when I feel like I can be truly heard. You know? Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm super excited to see this film. Like, are you gonna do it like a straight release, or are you gonna try to do a premiere on it, or?
I would like to do a premiere. I hope that the drive-in that we have down the road is open, because they are seasonal. There's still a drive-in.
Yeah,
down
I'm
the
like,
road.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I would love to have it there, but there's also, there's other wonderful places around. I do plan to send it to a lot of film festivals and just get it out there as much as I can prior to doing a release for it. So,
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah. And you know what? I'm putting the good juju on you. You're gonna win every single one of those. Oh my gosh. I haven't even seen it yet, but like
Thank you.
my skin is still crawling right now. So I still got like the goosey bumps right now. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
And
gosh. This is
and
crazy.
I think what really made it work as well too was the cast. Like I could not have done any of this without them because they truly gave it their all, and they have supported me all the way through, and I couldn't have picked. I mean, there was never a disagreement. There was never a downtime at all on either shoot because we had two different shoots that we did, and it was just everyone got along. But I also worked with a lot of people that I had worked prior. Um, like for example, I think it was Jessa Flux that I had worked with on I think it was 5 different films, and then me and Ronnie had worked on 6 films, but we had never met prior to this film. So it felt like we knew each other, but we really didn't. But and then I had like Brian Dorton, Dixie Gares, Douglas Connor. I worked with them on my first film, Truly Madly. That was the first film I ever did, and then working with Steve, ultimately, that's amazing, and being able to work with him on stuff.
Hey
And
Steve, because he's in the audience right now.
yeah, so, and having Derek Worley do the special effects, I worked with him on other projects, and he kills it every time. Every time you ask him to do something, I mean, he'll do it so perfectly, and you'll be like, "Oh wow, that's amazing!" But he'll beat himself up for it sometimes. I'm just like, "No, you did it so good." But that just shows that he's there, you know, doing his best. And
Mhm.
with Roman, with the everything that Roman's done on this, like it wouldn't be what it is without Roman. Editing and the cinematography, and Dixie helped me in so many ways. So did Steven. I mean, this whole cast and crew, even the people I'm not even can't even think of right now, just because I have so much fun in my head. But like every such a way that I can't even explain, just with everything.
That's
So
awesome. That is awesome when everything just goes so smooth like that. Like I think there's only been a few sets that I've been on where like everybody just got together so well
yeah,
and everybody was just able to bounce from person to person with no hiccups at all and just work together just flawlessly like that. That
yeah,
makes it an amazing time. It really, really
yeah.
does.
And I do want to point out, there's a Shithouse Productions that also did a segment for this film that they really helped me out and made a TV show that is being watched in the film, which goes along with this so well. But they did such an excellent job. And Connor McCarthy, who works with them, he's actually plays Aisling the Demon. He did such an excellent job as a demon. I literally gave him, I have to tell you this, I gave everybody an essence. So
Uh-huh.
I gave Connor him from the Powerpuff Girls. And
Oh,
so I was just like, just study those movements, that kind of attitude, but like I want you to come out and make it original. When he gave his performance, by the end of his performance, we told nobody this. Everyone was like, I can totally see him from the Powerpuff Girls coming out in this. And he did it exactly perfect to a T. Just, they knew that he was imitating him from the Powerpuff Girls, which I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like, him always like freaked me out, and I wanted something kind of like I think that he's slithery in a way, and that's what I was looking for. So he comes off really slithery and sneaky and like a demon should. So
that's cool though. That's cool because it works. So that's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
He understood what you were trying to convey, so
mhm,
it works.
yeah. And that was pretty much everyone. Like I gave Dixie an idea. Like her name is Twyla, which she represents Twilight in the film. And Twilight has a meaning itself to me. So when I told her the meaning, she came back and showed me her outfit, because one of the things I wanted her to do in her character was I wanted her to create her outfit. That was like one of the only characters that I really let kind of have control over what they were wearing. And she came back and showed me, and it represented everything exactly what I wanted. She went like all out and had like a logo and everything made for it, because she works for a delivery service. So a food delivery service for like a Galaxy pizza. And she just really, really brought so much to her character. And that's one of the other things that I think in today's films a lot of people forget about is, so many people want to get on set, start filming the movie, and just start filming. They forget about character development. They forget about crafting a character. What does a character look like? I want someone to say a name, and then I immediately think of what they're wearing and what they look like in that movie. I can remember that. So what I wanted for this was I wanted everyone to be so specific that if you mentioned who they were, you would know exactly what they were wearing. It would stand out. So that's what we did with the entire wardrobe as well.
That's dope. That is so awesome. I
Thank you.
love that so much. Is there anything else that you want everybody to know about the film? Because we're a little over time, but that's okay because
Okay.
I'm enjoying listening to this so much.
Oh, that is pretty much it. I mean, just that, give us a follow. You can still get perks if you want. Some people, like, I had a lot of people ask me about perks, like, because they wanted to get involved with the film.
Mhm.
And I opened up another Indiegogo. I haven't really advertised it, but it's called Daily Dealings Finishing Funds. So, like, if you want like a special thanks, you can still get that. One of the other things that we're doing specifically for cast and crew, and this is the last thing, I promise.
No, you're good.
I'm allowing, because it's love, loss, and resurrection. The movie deals a lot with loss. Um, I'm allowing my immediate cast to put like a memorial for their loved ones at the end of the film.
Oh,
So I wanted to do something kind of different instead of just doing it for like one person. For me, these people helped create it, so I'm allowing them to do like a memorial for their lost loved ones because
that's
of
so
what it means.
sweet. You're like really trying to make me cry this episode. Like you are the only one. You are getting to me.
I don't mean to, but that's truly what we are doing, and the meaning behind it. So yeah.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh my
Well, thank
gosh.
you.
My gosh. Sorry. It's gonna take me a second. But yeah, you guys there, the description, or not, I'm sorry, not the description. In the description is the link for the Deadly Dealings Facebook page. If you guys want to go over there and check it out, if you haven't already. I think most of the people here in it or have a part of it, so they already know where to go. But for everybody else, please go over there for me, for Adam, for Steve, for everybody. Go over there and give the page a like. Check it out. Check out the Finnish film funding for the Indiegogo and get a perk. Put somebody you love, put their name in there, and just wait for the film to come out because this is it's gonna be fucking amazing. I already know it's gonna be amazing. So
Thank you.
thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I love your show, and I think that what you're doing is great.
Thank you
For
so
real.
much. I really appreciate that. You and Steve are like fucking awesome people.
Thank you.
I love you guys so much. I love your faces. So I think I'm gonna knock over shit. And thank you guys, everybody who joined us tonight. I really appreciate it as well. You guys are just going in the comments, and I really wanted to listen to what Adam had to say, so I was just kind of just letting it all go up on the screen as we were going. So thank you guys for keeping it going in the comments. I appreciate it. And I guess that's it. Do you have any last words?
Enjoy it while it lasts. So, yeah.
That is true. Enjoy it while it lasts because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, thank you again so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And keep me updated, like with as much as you can. If there's anything you ever want to share about it, send it my way and I'll post it up on my group page and on my main page.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and if you ever get a trailer and you want to push the trailer, I will gladly post it during my live stream too. So
Did you see the teaser that we came out with?
I don't know. I've barely been on for the past week and a half.
Fairly new. I'll send it to you. That way you can see it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sweet. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, go check out Deadly Dealings. And I will see you guys later in the week. Until then, I hope you have nightmares about me. Mwah.